Welcome back to the Social Cycle Podcast, where we take a look at things affecting the Black community from a sociological and psychological point of view. Today we're gonna do a freestyle episode. We're just gonna talk to each other, ask questions, and without the structure. The last couple of episodes we've done have been kind of heavy, so I'm gonna give everybody a break this weekend. And this is our 10th episode, so I wanted our 10th episode to be a freestyle episode because that's a milestone to me. But y'all already know my name is BOONIE, and I'm here with Brent and John. How y'all doing today?
Blessed and highly favored.
Sure, I'm doing good. Just taking it day by day.
Not blessed and highly favored.
Amen. Amen.
Okay, so before I press record, we was getting into something. So you can go ahead with your question, John.
Oh, so I almost forgot my question, but
My bad.
so here's a question that I have. So I was just talking about, you have a lot of people in the male spirit talking about, as a man, this is how you're supposed to be, and then talking about women, how they're supposed to be, and the system and the stigma that's been placed upon us on what we're supposed to be doing. So my main question is, you have traditional and then you have 50-50. Traditionally wise, a man's supposed to be providing, protecting, providing security for a woman, etc., etc. Then the woman, she does the housework, she does the cleaning, the cooking, taking care of the kids, inspirational, supportive, nurturing, caring, loving. But my thing is, what do y'all believe spotted men and women that are constantly going against each other on this kind of topic?
But I can give you my opinion while we're waiting for him. It just kind of said, when you date back, you go back as far as biblical days, because I feel like that's where people usually start. It kind of seems like we were set up from the very beginning to go in opposite directions, because we have this like you said, women are expected to be the homemakers. We cook, we clean, we have kids, we raise those kids, and then we support our husband with whatever it is that he got going on. And then the men is supposed to be the providers, like you financially take care of the household, you bring the security and stuff that your family needs and stuff like that. And maybe the disciplinary, most of the time the dad is the disciplinary person when it comes to the kids. But I feel like when as societies continue, that probably worked back then. But when things, because a lot of times women weren't able to do a lot of things, they just, the men had way more power. They had a lot of power. So women couldn't do anything without a man. You can't even really talk without a man. So that's why it was like that back in the day, because women were seen as the helpers and not people who could, make decisions and stuff like that, except in situations where they were queens, which happened, which people seem to forget was a thing even back in biblical times. If you want to go back to the Bible, there were queens who had the same amount of control that the kings had. She could do all of the same things that the king could do, but people forget about that a lot of the time. But I feel like as our society has progressed and technology and all of this stuff has developed, and now women are able to do more things, I feel like people, you have a group of men who wants to stay in that kind of thinking because they benefit from that type of thinking. For women to not have any power. If women were able to do a lot of every single thing that men do, we were 100% equal, I feel like a lot of women would choose to not have men around. They would choose to be by themselves. And I think a lot of men understand that, and a lot of those ones who want that family life or whatever, it's a fear. I feel like it's a fear, if we don't do something quick, we ain't go, they not gonna need us and we just gonna be obsolete. It really ain't no point for them to need us. So I feel like it's a lot of scrambling because of that. But also, you said, why do you think we were like that? I feel because of the patriarch, because it was set up for men to be in power and just for women to be servants. Just because men wanted it to be that way. They made the rules, they made the laws and stuff like that. So they made that rule. That's how things were supposed to be. And also, you know, you had back then where men were in wars and all types of stuff. They were soldiers, like still do now, but like it was different back then. Women kind of took care of them. Like they would be around to take care of the soldiers stuff when they got hurt, stuff like that. Women couldn't go out and do the same things that men did because they needed somebody to stay back and take care of the household. They needed something to go back to, basically. So I feel like a lot of people is still in that thinking, that traditionalism, but now we're able to do things ourselves. Like we don't have to ask for permission to do a lot of things. So now we're capable of doing a lot. And women wasn't limited to what they could do because they couldn't do things. It was just because that was the law. Those were the rules. Like those were the rules that men made to have that position of power. And men seem to think that, you know, women who want to exercise the rights that they have now are seen as like more masculine. They're like more manly, masculine or whatever, because it is believed that we are not supposed to do that. Because I've seen a lot of men on social media say stuff like when a woman makes more money, when she's working and stuff like that, it's unattractive to them and they don't want women. And even down to like your education, your college education, what you go to college to be and what to do or whatever. I see a lot of them saying stuff like, it's like kind of like telling women what they should go to college for. They shouldn't make. I've even heard a guy say women shouldn't make more than $100,000. Like they literally breaking it down to numbers and stuff like that. And I feel like the reason why a lot of those type of men have that perspective is because they feel like if we're equal, then you don't really need me. So what really am I here for? Because men really don't know how to do anything outside of providing. They forget, like I feel like a lot of times men forget that there are people, and like taking care of your family financially and all of that's important, but you still have emotional needs. You still have you still need mental stimulation. You still need a companionship. Like relationships are not just about the man making the money and the woman taking care of the household. Like both people are humans and you still have needs. So just because this woman is making her own money doesn't mean that you don't have anything to offer her. Now you just have to open yourself up emotionally to give yourself to her in that way. And I feel like a lot of men don't know how to do that because men have been conditioned to focus on providing first, and women have been conditioned to focus on the being taking care of a man first. I think we've been conditioned to be that way. Just to kind of it seems like it. I wouldn't understand why somebody would purposely do it like that, because it doesn't benefit nobody if we're not getting along. But I feel like we feel it more in our community rather than other communities do, because a lot of the times it's constructed that way for us to feel it a lot more in our communities and for us to see it a lot more. Do I think that no other communities have this issue? I think everybody do, but I think we get pushed to the forefront to make it seem like it's only a Black problem or it's only a problem in our community, when that's not what it is.
Hey, my apologies, y'all. That was my that was a lieutenant calling me for tomorrow. John, go with your question again. I apologize.
Oh, I got you. So I was just basically asking, what do you think happened that basically made men and women push down the stigma that a man is supposed to provide, protect, bring security to a family, and then for a woman to only, support, nurture, care, and love, and inspire her man. Or, do the household chores, take care of the kids, make sure the dishes are washed, make sure the food is cooked, etc., etc. So I'm just trying to figure out like what happened back in the day that contributed to men and women wanting to be traditional.
I got aunts who are feminists, and I'm talking about like they old school feminists. Like they were some of the first women on the front lines about equal rights and stuff like that, as far as women is concerned, when they came to the workforce. And these were some hardcore women that who I respect and stuff like that. They would take over doctors' clinics because the nurses were underpaid, and they would tell the doctor, "Fuck you, you ain't doing X, Y, Z until you give us the same thing that you paying our male counterparts." So that I understand, because if you're doing the same work as a man and stuff like that, I do feel as if you should be equally paid as a man. But in our community, it has become a fucking competition between us. It's almost it's almost as if, like, if you really look at the historical context of it, like Black families and stuff like that were stronger and stuff like that during, slavery. Like, it was higher, marriages among slaves, it was, traditional Black families and stuff like that. We were very tight knit, but then, somebody had to stir the pot, an outside party had to come in and put their finger in and stir us all up to separate us, to keep us apart. Because the unity and the strength of a Black family is something that's very challenging to the white authority of the people who want to see us down, see the downfall of our community. Unfortunately, you got some people in our communities who fell victim to it. When you start looking at a Black woman as competition or a Black man as competition, you about to have some problems. It's like that fight for control. Unfortunately, my elder in my family, said that this generation is soft. We don't know what real oppression, real racism, real, ostracization and stuff that looks like. We don't know what it looks like. They know what it looks like because they actually experienced it. And one of the things and stuff that she told, one of the things that she told me, and it resonated with me, a family is just as strong as the people who are leading it. And you got a lot of people who think they are good leaders, but they're not. Like, women respond to leadership. Women respond to a man that has a real plan, and he's not going to, allow her to fail or go at the wayside. Most men and stuff like that who are nurturing and loving and caring guys, they actually care and stuff like that about, the future of his family, and want to see his family succeed, and wants his family to grow and progress. But then you got some women, not all of them, you got some women who are caught up in a fantasy of what they think their life should be like. A lot of them are not realistic with expectations and stuff of how a family's supposed to look. Fairy tale movies and drama shows, that shit doesn't help. And then you got guys and stuff like that who don't give them anything to respect. Like, you got guys and stuff who impregnate women, spread their seed all over the place, up and leave. Now what? You created a single mother who's mad and angry all the time. So it's it's not there's no balance. There's no balance. And unfortunately, it's starting to become a joke, really. Like the reason why it started to become a joke is because BOONIE said something that I agree with when she said that it's highlighted more with us. That artist who painted the pictures of the Rugrats, he did a rendition of the Rugrats all growing up with families and stuff. And Susie and her family were the only Black characters. Susie was a single mother with 2 kids.
Who did that?
It was some punk ass artist and stuff that did a rendition of the Rugrats when they had families and stuff. And Susie was a single mother.
Well, I can't say, call him the person a name, because sometimes art is supposed to create uncomfortable conversations. So,
well, his uncomfortable conversation actually created a shitstorm on Black Twitter, because there were so many Black artists that came back and decided to.
Oh, so it wasn't a Black artist?
No, it wasn't a Black artist. He was white.
So he purposely did it.
Yeah. So a lot of black artists and stuff that came back and they started painting Susie and stuff, following in the steps of her mom, her dad, doctor, creator, writer with her family and her children and stuff like that. So I don't like the fact and stuff that our issues are highlighted and stuff like that amongst the masses and stuff. Because the same shit that we go through, it goes on in any other community. Like I encourage anybody and stuff like that to go to blackdemographics.com and you'll see that black men marry black women at a higher rate than anybody else. Like we marry our black women and the statistics and stuff like that show and stuff like that black men are great damn fathers when they're in the home with their children.
Right.
These are statistics coming from blackdemographics.com.
Something you said earlier when you was like back then the relationships was better, the community was better. I can't say that I agree. I think that they were good at ignoring their issues because they had to fight other problems. So they would just, okay, maybe I have issues in my marriage. I ain't gonna focus on that. I'm gonna focus on supporting my husband because he's fighting for civil rights and stuff like that. I feel like the reason why things are different now is because women don't have to do that. Back then they didn't have a choice. A lot of women stay in their marriages because they didn't have a choice. They couldn't leave in a lot of situations. Now we have more rights, so we can do that. So a lot of women are opting out. It's like, what's the point of me staying here if I'm being treated like this? Because you can hear all of the great things that these leaders did, but then when you start hearing about the stuff that was done behind closed doors to their wives who supported them.
That goes back down to like duty and stuff,
Those women made sacrifices.
Yeah, right. That's what they were supposed to do.
But no, you're not.
I mean, I feel what you're saying, but at the end of the day, there in that span of time, like duty, honor, sacrifice, whatever anybody wants to call it, they had a duty and they fulfilled their duty. Now, today, a lot of people create hypothetical relationships or hypothetical situations that have never ever happened to them based off the traumas and stuff like that of everybody else. Like if you've never been married or been in a serious relationship before, how can you be influenced by what happened to somebody else thinking it's going to happen to you if you've never experienced it?
That's the same thing if you think that it's going to be positive. How could you be influenced by the positive things that you've seen? That just because your parents or people around you have good relationships don't mean yours is going to be good. It's the same either way.
Well, I mean, you are influenced and stuff like that about your stimuli about what is around you. So if you have positive stuff around you, of course, you might have a positive experience. I'm just being honest. Like, look what happened to me. Like, you even made a comment, oh, damn, Brent, you don't really curse like that, but you like, yeah, you get better. Because I got away from a negative stimuli that was around me. Like I have no desire and stuff like that to.
I've been around negative stimuli my whole life and I've done nothing negative.
Well, I'm talking about for people, for me and my negative stimuli and stuff like that, it was just the negative actions and stuff like that of people who took honesty and sincerity for granted, because people take other people for granted all the time. Like, I'll give you a great example. Like when Tyler Perry did Medea's Diary of a Mad Black Woman, right? People think that Helen did a great job and stuff like that of staying by her husband through his traumatic experience, getting shot and paralyzed. Me, I didn't take it like that. I felt like my dad saw the movie and he was like, oh, the chickies have come home to roost for him. Because he realized, because Charles and stuff that didn't understand what was getting ready to happen later on, she stood by his side, for duty, honor, and all of that. But she wasn't about to stick around and stuff like that for that man. The most embarrassing thing for him was to have the woman that he treated like dog shit stand by his side. That was the horse that broke the camel's back and stuff like that. Because like that's a very demeaning thing to experience. Like you sat back and you treat somebody like shit. The person who you love, the person whose back you're supposed to have, just stay back. Like it's
so you think like that situations like that is like a positive example of what you're supposed to do in a relationship?
Hell
like,
no,
in that situation.
Hell no, because Helen got her revenge. And what I was saying was, I'm actually distracted by something else. My bad. when Charles realized that he was no longer in power or in control and stuff like that of what was going on in his life, and Helen had full control over what was going on, that to him signified and stuff like that, like his reign of terror for her and stuff like that was over. It humbled his ass. Unfortunately, and stuff like that, I've seen that happen with men and women. Like when I used to work in these group homes and like elder facilities and stuff, I saw like how the spouse dynamics with their elders and stuff like that were, and it was weird to me to see the people who treated them like shit were still there by their side and stuff like that, nurturing them back to health. Like it's a weird. I'm trying to explain it, but I really can't. I'm stumbling across my words and stuff like that. But in order for us to really progress, John, and really move forward, we will have to have these uncomfortable conversations and, have honesty about what it is that we're talking about, because it can't be back and forth. You did this, you did that, you did this. Because all it is and stuff like that is trauma.
Right.
Trauma.
Yeah, I agree. It shouldn't be tit for tat neither. But at the same time, I feel like the part that's always missing out of the equation was the way that women were treated back then. Like I hear a lot of people talk about it in, traditional relationships versus modern day ones, and they say stuff like the relationships were better. How you know that?
I think
relationships.
I think people are talking about like going off the anecdotal evidence, the evidence based about the marriage statistics and stuff back then. But what I find so ironic is women now have become the very damn men that they hate. Like that's the part that trips me out. Like they have become the very men that they hate. They're very judgmental, very dismissive, career driven, dismissing families, foregoing families. They don't hate.
But what if that's not important to them?
Right, that's not important to them.
But like, why do we all have to have the same idea of a life as everybody else? It doesn't look the same to all of us.
Because every single last one of them, I've noticed, I'm speaking for me, every single last woman I've known or met that's career driven and stuff, when they hit a certain age or it's like they look back and they like, damn, I want a family now. I want this, I want that. I'm not saying
I don't see that.
You don't see that, but I see it every day, especially in this career field. Like all I keep running into is women 45, 50 years old, close to retirement. They have nobody to share anything with because they were so busy trying to climb that corporate and social ladder and stuff that they never took the time out or even took the interest to even vet or get to know anybody, because all they were about were their careers, and that's all they have is their careers. Like I met a
well, wait, it's not a bad thing though. If men do it, it's not a bad thing.
But see that thing, we can have a family that own a life. Women can't.
We don't care. I don't.
No,
like it's just some of us that don't.
Right, there's you. But see, you speaking for you.
No, I'm speaking for me and other women like me.
Yeah, it's you and women who think like you. But then for women who do want families and stuff like that, it's not the case.
But I feel like women who want families got families.
Not necessarily.
Yes, necessarily.
No, because every woman.
I've never met a woman who wanted a family that don't got one.
I met women and stuff like that who wanted families and stuff later on in life and realized stuff there was nobody in their age range available to give them what it is they want.
You met women who was beat up by life and they feel like the only thing that could save them is to have somebody or a family.
Now, I have met one of my good friends and stuff, she told me and stuff that she didn't want children, she didn't want a family, but she says that she never ever envisioned her life being alone and by herself either. Like nobody, like it's natural for everybody to want to see companionship. Me personally, I don't have a dog in this fight when it comes to the family stuff or that, because I really personally and truly just don't care. Like whatever you decide to do with your life, that's on you. But don't spread your illness and stuff like that amongst other people, thinking that that's what it is that they're supposed to do as well. Some people,
but illness.
Yeah, your illness.
You can also say the same thing about positive ideas of what things are supposed to be too.
Nah, I'm talking
yes,
about.
It is, because that actually gets pushed more when it comes to relationships, marriage. This is how it's supposed to be. And if you're not acting like this, you're not acting like your grandma. I'm gonna let y'all know my grandma my great grandma, my grandma, my great great grandma, ain't a woman in my family that has ever been like the way that y'all have said women were supposed to be.
Oh,
Back
y'all.
then, if anything, the women in our generation is a lot more submissive, I would say, than they were.
I don't agree.
I said in my family. You don't know nothing about that.
No, I'm talking about when you said the women and stuff like that. I'm thinking you were referring to stuff like that to just as a whole, not specifically
No,
you.
I said
I don't agree.
specifically in my family, because I said people will say y'all don't act like y'all grandmas, and I'm like,
Booney,
no,
Booney, the women
my
in your
grandmas
family,
are not
Booney,
like,
Booney, the women in your family are gangsters. Like, let's keep it real. Like, they gangsters.
they not gangsters, they just ain't.
Gangsters. They don't take that. They don't take no shit. They ain't with the bullshit. Like, they're gangsters. It is what it is.
And I don't even meet a whole lot of older women who are like that. So I don't even know where that idea come from. And I think that comes from media, the stuff that's put out in the media.
I know I've met several of them, especially in this career, because they're either military, they either have a military background, and John know what I'm talking about, because John's in the military. They either have a military background, they either are career driven with, degrees, goals, stuff. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Like, sometimes stuff like that, you've been sold a lie that is not actually true. Like, some people got this mentality, you can have it all. You can't have it all. You can't.
Right.
You cannot have it all. It's something you got to sacrifice something. Do you like?
You can't have it all if you get with somebody who wants to have it all with you and who okay with doing what they need to do for you to have it all.
That's very rare.
And that's because people be having limited perceptions of what things are supposed to be.
Because
I feel like like for instance, the Cosbys, I see people talk about that all the time as like a representation of what a family is supposed to be. And it's like, bro, Claire was not the woman that y'all see. And people say Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama is a strong woman who, yeah, she made sacrifices as well, but she's not the submissive, okay, I'm gonna listen to everything you say woman that everybody be trying to make it seem like she is.
I think that word submissiveness has gotten thrown around so much that it's starting to lose its value with people and stuff. Like, for me, when I hear the word submissiveness and stuff, my definition of it and stuff like that boils down to respect.
But you know exactly what I'm talking about when
I know. Yeah, I know, but I agree. But John, for me, when it comes to that, like, I'm going to go with a woman who's respectful. Like, if she's respectful to me, I'm going to be respectful to her, and we can work something out. Like, a lot of people are afraid to have honest conversations. You ever heard that shit where people talk about what do you bring to the table?
Right, I've been hearing that all the time.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about what you bringing to the table, because I'm not even going inside your house to even look at your table. I'm gonna stand at the door and stuff like that and have a conversation with you. And if you invite me in, I may come in your house, but I'm not sitting at your table.
Right.
Because, like, everybody's still trying to figure things out. And then we live in the age now of social media, like BOONIE said, man, it's so much misinformation out there. It's so many people giving false representations of themselves. Hell, you don't even know who's honest and sincere anymore. And it's a very scary thing, especially dating in this generation, in this era. People lie about their relationship status. People lie about their financial status. People lie about their medical histories status. Like, people weird. But it's just one of them things you just got to navigate through. And me and BOONIE have like little tit for tat and stuff like that all the time, but it ain't nothing like catastrophic, nothing. This is how she and I talk to stuff like that to each other, because I'm not going to agree with her and she's not going to agree with me. But the one thing about it is, if we both agree on something, we're gonna say, okay, I agree on that. BOONIE is a representation of what free thinking women are. Like, she's a true intellect. You get what I'm saying? That's very rare and stuff. That's very rare and stuff of that, to find and stuff of that, when you got somebody who can actually battle wits and stuff of that with you without starting the shaming and the name calling and all that type of stuff. Because you notice the stuff of that with some women and stuff of that, like how she and I were engaging, BOONIE never she never said, you know, anything that was shaming, insults, guilt, or need to be right.
Right.
You know, she just stated her opinion and stated what she felt. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you got some women who are like fucking piranhas and hyenas and sit back and stuff and say, oh, you stupid, oh, you dumb, you know what I'm saying? And then after a while, I'm gonna bark back. I'm like, F you, you know what I'm saying?
I've
But
never met these women that you be meeting, being
hey,
around.
but I'm gonna say this though. You say you never met these women, but what I'm sitting there saying is I've been out here. I've been out
No,
here.
it ain't even that too, but I kind of feel like it be women around that like me, but a lot of men don't pay attention to that. You would pay attention to the what you don't like. I've never met a group of people who care so much about women they claim they're not attracted to. If that I don't know nothing about what the men are doing that I'm not attracted to. I don't know what's going on in their life. I don't know what they think. I don't know how they think. Because I don't care. So how do y'all keep coming across stuff like that when y'all are not attracted to it?
Hey, I agree with you, but when you a man and your damn dick work, you can go wherever you accepted that. Just being real. It is what it is. You can shake your head all you want to. Hell, it's the truth. Because one thing for certain, two things for sure. We gonna fuck these hoes.
And that's the problem.
It is, well, for some, it is the problem. Like John, for me, I felt like with me and stuff like that, like I don't have a high tolerance and stuff like that for women with BS. And I tolerated BS and stuff like that because I was settling.
Right.
So I accepted whatever it is they were willing to give me, which was only just a small piece of themselves. And the career-driven women who I met, they forego, they didn't give a fuck that I was a gentleman. They didn't give a fucking stuff that I had a good head on my shoulders. They didn't care that I treated them with respect and dignity and stuff. They were only married to one thing, and that was their career, getting to the next step, getting to that next thing, thing in their life.
But why do you think that?
Because that was an image that I was
settled?
sold. No, because that was an image that I was sold.
No, I mean, why do you think that you settled for that?
Because I wasn't being treated. I settled for that because that's what I thought that I was supposed to be with, to maintain this visual image of what I think a relationship was supposed to look like. So that fell back on me. But now that I'm by myself and shit, I'm falling and stuff like that for what a woman has to offer internally more so than externally. Like you can have the great visual representation of what a marriage or a girlfriend and all that shit is supposed to look like. But if the inside is not matching the outside, you're going wrong. And that's why I went wrong at. However, now that I'm by myself and been by myself, man, my cutoff game so strong with women and stuff. When they start talking to me now about their degrees and I don't want to hear that shit. All I hear is you in debt, degree, like that's all you have. Like if you lead off a conversation talking about your awards and accomplishments, that's all you got. That's not a stimulating conversation. Me and BOONIE don't sit back and talk about our awards and conversations and shit. Hell, we could talk about cooking. We could talk about some drama shit back where we from or something. You know, like I don't want to hear about her. Hell, I know the girl write books and shit. I bought them.
You bought 2 of them.
Hey,
let's not get carried away.
Hold on, stop. Didn't I support?
Yeah.
All right then. All right then.
2 books.
See, she going to see. She fucking up a good thing. See what I'm talking about? Women don't never want to say he bought 2. Always want to put a negative connotation with something.
No, but you can't generalize something with me because I want to be specific so people can know specifically what you did.
Hey, at the end of the day, damn, I ain't got it. To all the views and stuff, BOONIE said I bought 2 books. No, I didn't. I bought a couple series and I bought The Journey of Love. This is a good book. I suggest everybody go and purchase it. She even got a thing here called Thirsty. Your glass is half empty because you're always inviting lovers for a drink without allowing them to pour back into you. What? I had that. I had that in the chamber ready to pull the trigger on that for the night, just in case we had a freestyle episode. Don't come for me.
Bro, you just having to look down that joint was by you. It probably was holding up your coffee table because it leaning a little bit. You put it
I don't have a coffee table. I have what you call a lamp nightstand, and it was right here with my lamp nightstand by another book that I'll read quite often. It's called 48 Laws of Power. So I go flip-flapping. I go back and forth between yours and that. So don't come for me. Damn it.
Well,
Hold on, John.
Okay.
Shit.
Well, please.
It's all good. But now that we talk about that, I have another question to back off of BOONIE.
Okay.
So this is my overall issue with that's why I asked the question in the beginning, because the one thing that I see that's a real issue with this community, but not just community, but society in general, is that I see a lot of people trying to destroy the patriarchy by saying that, hey, I'm independent, I don't need a man, I can do this by myself, I can get a job, I can work. So a lot of things that we women used to depend on men for back in the day, they don't need them now for it because they're able to get it on their own. Cool, I understand that. But women nowadays is trying to destroy the patriarchy by saying that, hey, just because you're a man or just because I'm a woman, that doesn't mean that I'm supposed to just cook, clean, wash, do none of that. I can go out here and get it on my own if I wanted to. I understand that. But same time, what my problem is that when women turn around and they go after men to provide the same things that they used to provide back in the day. So it's like, okay, you destroying the patriarchy by saying that you don't need a man to provide these things, but then you turn around and go with a man, try to chase after a man to provide those same things that you say you didn't need from him. So it's like, why can't we just come together and contribute to one another? Why do I still, as a man, still got to provide, protect, and bring security into your life when you just told me that you don't need me to provide that? Why can't we just come together and just work as a team?
There's a certain group of women who solely go after men for money. Because I feel like when we have these conversations, you're pretty much a normal guy. I'm a normal woman in society's eyes. When we have these conversations, we always taken from those group of people that we got nothing to do with, the men who like only women who are beautiful or whatever, and the women who like men who can provide a certain lifestyle for them. There are a group of women who there are a group of women who do like men for those things, but I feel like that's more so traditional than anything else. Right. They still look at men the same way women looked at men back then. They have not changed. That has not changed. That's how things always were. But I feel like people look at that and they think this is modern woman. This is like the modern woman. This is the modern man. But they have always done this. They have always operated like that. Men have always wanted the good looking woman who can give him pretty babies and who look nice while she mopping and cooking and stuff like that. Women have always wanted a man who worked, who made money, who provided those lifestyles where they didn't have to go out there. But then you have a group of women who don't want that. You have a group of women who are okay with the 50-50. They're okay. Right. I'm okay with contributing to the household too. However, whenever we have conversations, I'm always going to offer a perspective that you don't have yourself. But I do feel like when we have these conversations, we're always looking at them rather than
what's realistic.
Exactly, like Brent said, what's realistic. A lot of times they're not realistic and practical. A lot of the times when y'all be talking about women, y'all be talking about women that exist in a whole other playing field that y'all exist in, and I don't. That's why I was telling him, like, y'all see a lot of the stuff and I don't get it because I don't look at those type of men because they not the type of people that I want, so I don't care what they want.
Right.
John, look at, man, like, I know that previous segment, like, I was doing a little rambling. I'm gonna be honest with all the viewers, I was distracted by something on my phone. I ain't even gonna lie. Hey, bro, I love Atlanta, bro.
It's all good. It's all good.
Hey, I love Atlanta, so I was distracted by something on my phone. So it's to all the viewers, if it felt like, oh, he ain't know, man, I was in my phone. I'm about to have a lovely day tomorrow. But anyway, you do what the fuck you can afford in a relationship. Like, let me tell you something, dog. Like, let me tell you something, John, real shit. I told BOONIE this. BOONIE laughed her ass off when I told her this. I had a date. I went to the Cheesecake Factory over here by Lenox Mall, right? This girl pulled up, man, beautiful, because I love dark-skinned women. Beautiful. She came in an AMG, black on black, Mercedes car, truck, whatever the hell that thing was, hybrid, whatever you want to call it. She got out the car. I mean, beautiful, beautiful. Her outfit been hugging every damn curve on her body. Man, we went to dinner. We had a good time. I was sitting there listening to her talk and stuff. Then open my mouth, didn't really say anything. Walked her back to her car and stuff like that. She said, "I really had a good time. Can't wait to see you again." And I said, "Hey, I loved your company." Gave her a kiss on the cheek, and she looked at me and said, "So when are we gonna do this again?" I said, "Baby, I'm being honest. I can't afford you." I got in my truck, man, haul ass. And all you saw, like, was the shock on her face, like, damn, like, I ain't about to do that shit. I don't give a fuck if you call me a broke motherfucker and all that. I don't care. I'm not about to sit here and stuff like that to appease you. Like, I'm not gonna do all that stuff to impress you. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, because you're not gonna genuinely give a fuck about me. You're gonna care about what I can do, and my resources are limited. I ain't balling like these motherfuckers and stuff like that, who celebrities and all that type of shit, buying Maybachs. Man, that shit is a fantasy. Being sold to women who are fucking gullible and shit, and they be eating that shit up. And some of them are stupid as fuck.
No, really, but all that group of people belong together. We just need to mind our business. Let them go after them niggas and let them niggas go after them. We need to mind our business.
You right. And guess what? Boonie, you right, but the dating pool is starting to get tainted because you got motherfuckers and stuff like that want to ball out with champagne money on a beer budget. And that shit is crazy to me.
Yeah, because they're trying to impress somebody they shouldn't be even looking at.
You right.
Why you even looking over there? You can't. And I feel like that's where a lot of bitterness comes from. It's like, you women this, and it be like 1,000 women in the comments like, not all of us are like that. Them niggas skip completely over them and be like, but like I was saying, you women this, like, because they be right in front of you and you won't pay attention because you want something that you can't have.
Right. It's almost like a forbidden fruit, but it's almost like a status as well. Like, damn.
Right.
I was able to get this badass chick or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, niggas be getting, like, you got niggas who be getting stuck up on that type of shit. Me personally, you know I rambled in the damn, I'm still getting distracted. But anyway, but like I was saying and stuff like that, but like I was saying, like, I don't give a fuck. At the end of the day, you do what you can do and what you can afford. Like, stop trying to impress everybody, stuff that else. Because when you get with the person who's meant for you, man, that shit supposed to be smooth. Supposed to be. It's not always the case. But you also got to be mindful and stuff like that who you pour your energy and your resources into, because some motherfuckers would actually just be draining you, taking you for a ride. Like you gotta start practicing your own discernment about who it is you want to date and who it is you want to talk to.
Exactly. You need to figure out what you want specifically. I think a lot of men don't think about that, and I think men define what they want by the woman that they could get, and that's the problem. You need to figure out what you want. Where you going after? What are you willing to do for certain women, or for the women that you should be paying attention to? Because you shouldn't even be looking over there at the cool kids table, because you ain't in that arena. Stop paying attention to them folks and look at what, like, for instance, like you said, women don't be practical. They don't be realistic. Men need to be realistic too. Sometimes you not going to get the woman with a banging body and that look flawless and all of this stuff. And I feel like y'all need to start looking deeper than looks. Like, yeah, there are women who are beautiful, who have great personalities and who can be everything you want them to be, but that's rare. And also the whole mentality of what looks good and what's not, like what is attractive to you and what's not. And I know at the core of it, y'all can't help what y'all are attracted to, but if you stop only caring about looks, you will see a lot of women who really be down and who really okay with, you know, sharing the bill and going half and half on a relationship or whatever, everything that y'all get together. There are a lot of women out there like that. Those women who want money, that's not the majority. Just like the men who want good women, or I ain't gonna say good women because one, I can't define what that is to you, but men who want certain types of, like a woman who wants to take care of the household, stuff like that, y'all like be more practical about what you want, what you should go after, and it takes some of that bitterness away. But I think the reason why things are the way that they are is because we paying attention to the cool kids and we ain't invited to that table.
Now,
like, why is we looking over there?
Not only that, but what BOONIE was talking about, like in my situation with previous relationships with all the girls I've been married, on the surface, them girls be fine as fuck. Like they would, you know, pay for this, pay for that, here and there, and all that type of stuff with no problem. With no problem. But they were devoted and dedicated to one thing. That was to their image of what it is they wanted their life to be with me in it. I look good on their arms. You know what I'm saying? I'm tall,
Right.
big dude, all that type of shit. So I look good on their arms. They were really focused on the fantasy of what could be and not actually me, who I am and stuff as a person. So that was my fault because I entertained that shit for so long.
You don't think that you like that either?
No, I admitted that.
No, okay.
I admitted that. You ain't got to bring it back to reality, baby. I did it
I'm
myself.
just making sure you know.
No. I did it myself. When you go back and you get ready to edit or whatever, you
No, I remember what you said. I'm just saying.
No, you ain't got to remind me. I got it. Thank you, though. But anyway.
Sometimes we do.
But anyway, John, before BOONIE decided to try to bring me back to reality, you gotta, like Whoopi Goldberg. I'm gonna use Whoopi Goldberg as an example. Whoopi Goldberg, if you look at Whoopi Goldberg from her youthful years, when she was just coming in Hollywood stuff, Whoopi was beautiful and stuff like that to me. Real shit. Because like I said, I like dark-skinned women. Society told us Whoopi was ugly.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
fuck societal standards. You have to know the standards and stuff that you want for yourself. A lot of people are not realistic, man, with their goals and expectations in a fucking relationship.
Right.
Like, I remember my homeboy, that joker got money, like he got money, trucking, he owns a trucking company and all that. He met a girl on he met this fine ass girl waiting at a bus stop. Fine as all outdoors. He got a name, he got a number, they were kicking it, all of that. Within 3 months of them dating and shit, that girl was telling him what he needed to do with his life.
Right.
Like, you just got some people like that, man, who just is I feel bad that I feel kind of bad and stuff like that a lot of these generations and stuff like this generation is not understanding that together we can conquer and control some shit. You know, like if we're on the same page and we're working towards the greater good for us and our relationship, like we can make money and create that life for each other if we work together as a team in unity. Like a financial counselor I met when I was in Colorado for a little while. He said something that made my jaw drop. He said, like, if you got a husband and a wife and both of them working, who's ever making the most money and stuff like that, or the less money, doesn't matter. You take one of their salaries, use that to pay all the bills, and you take the other salary to invest and stuff like that. He said that family can become millionaires in less than 5 years.
Yeah, but everybody don't got that dream. Not everybody want to be rich, or not everybody want to be millionaires, which is why I say you need to figure out what you want.
Yeah, but I'm not saying
gravitate toward people that.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that. But I'm not saying that stuff that is premise like everybody want to be rich and all that type of stuff. I'm saying it on the premise of what a family structure could be like if everybody's willing to work together. Put egos out of when you start putting egos into a relationship, you know, that constant banging of personalities. I'm right, you're right. No, I'm right. No, you're wrong. Like clashing. It's like everybody fighting for control in the damn relationship. Me personally, I don't even too much give a shit about having full control in a relationship, because if my woman is saying something that is beneficial towards me, I'm gonna listen. But if I'm saying something beneficial towards her, I hope she'll listen. Like the one thing that all of my exes and anybody that's ever dated me will say, I was like the boss character in a video game. Like after they talk to everybody else, I was the last person that they wanted to talk to, because I'm gonna be honest and truthful with them, whether it hurt their feelings or not. And you know, as men sometimes and stuff like that, you know, we want to take consideration our women's feelings when we having conversations, and like, nah, like we need to tell them the truth about shit if it's out of, you know, if it's beneficial to both of us. You know what I mean?
Right.
The woman gonna do that for us. A woman that love you, she gonna tell you the right shit.
Exactly. I get that. But what was I gonna say? So that was another thing that I do appreciate this conversation, because what this made me realize is that a lot of people like to push a one size fit all kind of narrative into society. And like I said, I already know what I want in a woman. I already know like to stay in my lane when it comes down to relationships, know what to actually invest in, know what I want, know what I actually want to contribute to a relationship. But it's
Man,
just that
you
I see
ahead
on
of the
social,
game.
yeah, it's just that I see it like a lot of people on social media just like to push this narrative, like, hey, this is what you're supposed to be doing because you're a man. This is what you're supposed to be doing because you're a woman. And it's like it's constantly putting people in like a negative mindset and a
John,
corrupted
continue to be a
mentality.
gentleman. John,
Yeah,
continue to be a gentleman. Continue to be a gentleman. You ain't got to do none of that. You ain't got to do none of that gorilla type
Bro,
tactic.
let him get his thoughts out real quick.
Yeah, I am gonna let him get his
yeah,
thoughts out, but I just wanted to say that like real quick, man. Like, just to continue to be a gentleman, man. Continue to be a
right.
gentleman. But my
Of
bad,
course,
though.
of
I
course.
had to say that real quick.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. I'm just saying, just like I said, like I already know what I want in a woman. I already know why I want to contribute to a relationship, because it's just that a lot of men and a lot of women like to demonize each other based off each other's masculinity or femininity. Because, like I said, the patriarchy and the traditional values. But what to piggyback off of what BOONIE said, you know, you need to learn how to stay in your lane and know, you know, what you want. Because not everybody's gonna get everything. Not everybody, like if you're an average person and you want a guy that's making this amount of money, you should already know what you need to bring. Well, not bring to the table, but you should already know what comes with that. But at the same time, I'm like, you
That's
know,
true.
when people try to argue amongst each other about certain things, it's basically making each other corrupted. Because when we talk about, because I hear a lot of men talk about, you know, you can't be vulnerable to a woman, you can't be open to her because she's going to try to take advantage of your weakness and your masculinity. And then you have a lot of women that say you can't be submissive to a man because he's going to try to take advantage of you or try to be in control over you. Because women have in the back of their mind, like, hey, when you talk about submission, I already know you're just trying to take control on me and try to take advantage of me. So I can't afford to not have my own shit because I already know how men's minds work. But men are like, hey, I can't be open to you. I can't be vulnerable to you because I know that you're going to look at me as like I'm weak. So therefore, I got to hide my feelings and close my heart. So with that, you know, with those two minds, negative mindsets, it's kind of tearing men and women apart because it's like both men and women feel like that they just got bad intentions over all around. But really, that ain't the case because they're just telling half of the story on everything. They're not
Exactly.
really telling. They're not telling the full picture on what's actually going on. But when men try to tell me like, hey, you can't be vulnerable to a woman, you can't be open to her because, you know, she's going to try to make you feel like you're weak. She's going to try to take advantage of that. And she's going to leave you and try to fuck your best friend. I'm like, well, what's the point of her? Like, you trying to tell me that I can't be open to somebody that is my wife that's supposed to be with me for the rest of my life? You can't tell, you trying to tell me that it's unmasculine of me to make my woman a sandwich from time to time? You trying to make me feel like that it's unmasculine for me to wash the dishes sometimes, take care of the kids, fold the clothes, run her some bath water, make her some wine, cook her some food, take her to the
Right.
bed. Well, I'm not gonna say the rest of the shit, but I'm just saying, like, you're trying to make it seem like that it's unmasculine of me to do the same thing that my woman would do for me. Because as a man, you're trying to make me feel like that it's not what I'm supposed to do. I'm not supposed to cook. I'm not supposed to clean. I'm not supposed to do these things. And then try to push it on everybody else to make them feel like no matter where you are in life, whether you're making $20,000 or $100,000 or you're rich, as a man, this is what you're supposed to be doing. And what I've seen is it's kind of corrupted a lot of men and crew up there a lot of women. Because now it's just people trying to get into a lane that they know they don't fit in.
Yep.
Now I will say something. That's the risk you run anytime that you in a relationship with anybody. Like anytime stuff that you open up yourself to someone in a relationship and they decide to use that shit against you later on down the road, it's happened to everybody. Me, BOONIE, anybody. It's happened. You know, people will take your secrets and try to use it as a
You
control
just
tactic.
now reiterate what he said. People saying that is BS. People have used stuff against me that I've told them. Guess what? In every relationship I get in, I'm still gonna be vulnerable. I'm still gonna open up to the person that I'm with. I'm still gonna love them 100%. I'm still gonna do, and that's how everybody should be. It's fear. Everybody is so afraid of this person is right manipulated. They scared to be abused and stuff like that. There are going to be people that will try to take advantage of you, but I feel like when you are single, you work through your issues, you work through your trauma, the stuff that you went through, then nobody has anything to use against you. If you come across somebody who's abusive, when you recognize the signs of abuse, get out of that relationship. It ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. It ain't no listen to the older generation telling you to stick it out because maybe they'll change. Get out of that relationship. If somebody can put their hands on you or they can abuse you mentally, emotionally, stuff like that, they don't like you for real. They don't love you for real. Somebody who loves you would never do that to you.
Yeah, ain't nothing cool. Ain't nothing cool. Like, hey, I dated a damn girl that told me it was okay for women to be abusive, bro.
It ain't cool for nobody to be abusive.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Like I remember that. And you know, just to piggy bank off of piggy bank, whatever. Just to go off of what BOONIE had said, she's 100% right. It all depends on your maturity level and where you are and stuff within your life. Like if you're an honest person and you honest with yourself, you can handle rumors and gossip and somebody taking your deep darkest secrets and spewing it. Like I had somebody spread a rumor about me. I did not give two shits when it came out and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying about that? Like it is what it is. So what? But you just got some horrible people. Like but everybody's running somebody who's horrible. You're gonna meet horrible people.
There are horrible people, but at the same time, there are a lot of good people. There are a lot of people who still are who genuinely gonna love you, who genuinely gonna support you, and who gonna I think a lot of times the older generation of men be putting in a lot of guys' heads, like you said, people were telling you can't be vulnerable and stuff like that. That type of thinking, whenever you think like that, when somebody tell you that and you take that into your decision making when it comes to dating people, a lot of times you be looking for problems that don't be there. You be creating issues that don't be there. Like sometimes a person isn't trying to do that. They're not being this way, but because you think you're so paranoid and you're afraid that if I open up, if I do this, she gonna take advantage of me. They gonna take advantage of me or whatever. That's not always the case. Yeah, there are some bad people in life and there are some people who will abuse you and they will use you and stuff like that, but do not let that keep you from opening yourself up to people, because you when you're closed off, yeah, you protecting yourself from people, but you also protecting yourself from good people. You protecting yourself from the bad people and the good people. So you probably have come across people who is the opposite of what these people are telling you everybody is, and you don't know because you got that wall up. You're protecting yourself so nothing can come in, and that's not a good way to go through life. That is scary. That's fear. That's fear. I don't care. I've been through some of the worst things ever in my life, and I would never not be vulnerable and stuff like that to people. Yeah, it's a little harder for me to open up to you, but it's not in like a
you're more apprehensive.
Right. I'm taking my time to read this because I'm gonna analyze the situation. I know what to look for in people to tell if they deserve for me to be vulnerable. You have to make somebody comfortable enough to be vulnerable with you. If you never do that, then of course they're not gonna do it. of course, they not gonna want to tell you certain things or whatever, but don't like people are speaking from bitterness and bad relationships that they've been in. And even though I've been in bad relationships, I'm not gonna tell people to move like that.
And John, like you were talking about, like what the older guys were saying, bro, that is basic fucking human shit to do. Like, that's being an adult. You're supposed to wash the fucking clothes and cook and all that. That's basic human shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Man, half of them niggas and stuff like that even say that shit or even talk like that shit, they don't fucking do nothing for themselves. So what the fuck? Like, they can't even offer you a goddamn dollar to get on a damn bus to go someplace. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I realize that the guys and stuff like that who do that type of shit, they want fake ass alpha male beating their chest type dudes. Like, you gotta, man, let me tell you something. One thing about me and any woman I've ever dated, I never ever had to beat my chest and say, I'm a man, you gonna do this. They just fell in line because they already knew that. I put them comfortable, I made them comfortable, I put them at ease. Even though the relationships and stuff didn't work out, it's all love. I ran into the one I can't stand like a motherfucker before I moved to Atlanta. Gave her a hug, she chopped it up with me. I left, came up here, she said, in the future, can we work things out? I said, hell no. And you know what I mean? Like, you gotta leave your mark on certain women and stuff so they'll never forget you. But the problem is stuff with that with certain men and women. But the problem with certain men and women, man, on some real shit, you got some of them that just have been so jaded by bad experiences, dog, that you need to just leave them alone. Like, when they're in constant anger and frustration and stuff like that all the time. It's like when you run into somebody who's always in survival mode, man, you don't need to be around them because they're thinking about how to outmaneuver you in a chess match. How can I get this? How can I get that out of him? How can I get this out of her? Like, those type of people, you need to leave them alone. Those people are dangerous.
And you have to be careful about the people that you listen to as well, because you have some people that give you terrible advice because they do not care about you. What you do in your life does not affect them. So they'll say whatever it is that they feel like they feel you should hear. But a lot of times your morals, your principles, the things that you want in your life don't even align with those type of people. So you have to just have the discernment. And I feel like I'm pretty sure you do. Because you Van brother, and I just feel like
y'all spiritual people.
Just by listening to the way that you think, which is why I was telling Brent to let you finish your thought. Just by listening to the way that you think, you are capable of determining whether somebody is out to use you or not. I know you are. You just have to not get caught up on your feelings. It's okay to feel stuff. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to share that with somebody, but it only should be a fear to you if you haven't conquered those feelings yourself. If you are afraid of your own emotions, yeah, you're gonna be scared that somebody gonna make you feel a certain type of way because you're scared of your feelings. I don't care nothing about looking stupid. I'll go into a situation and 100% love and trust you or whatever until you give me a reason to behave otherwise. Cause I ain't got no fear. When it's time for me to walk away from that situation, I'm out of there, and I can stand on that. I ain't got no fear. I've been through a situation where I stayed, and I'll say in that situation I stayed on purpose because I had the tendency to do that, to leave situations whenever I didn't like the smallest things or whatever. So I'm trying to do something different. Was that the relationship for me to do that with? No. Like, I should have left that just like I did the other ones. But I stayed and it taught me a lesson.
So, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Boonnie, but to all the viewers, if you want to know what she's referring to, go back and watch our previous episode and you will have all the information that you need. Thank you for watching.
All the information I could give, considering how that conversation went. But
that was a good podcast. That was a good episode though.
Yeah, but what I said in that last episode did not come out on purpose. It just kind of happened. I wasn't planning to talk about none of that stuff. It just came out. So yeah.
Damn, for real?
Yeah, I was just having a conversation, and by the time I realized what I was saying, I was already saying it.
Oh wow, that was a good episode though. Hey, but
so,
John, But John, at 22, let me tell you what I was doing at 22. Dating and having fun and going out and traveling and exploring and doing different things, even though my broke ass was in college during that time. You know, I didn't have, you know, like.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you're not that type of person.
Yeah, no doubt. But what I'm saying is stuff like that. Like, just if you like exploration and you like exploring or you like it, some type of adventurous type things, like me, I like art and I like traveling and I like plants and guns and all that type of stuff. You know, ain't nothing wrong with going out and stuff like that and doing that type of stuff. Like, believe it or not, I go get manicures and pedicures. Yeah, that's right. I said it. I go get manicures.
Yeah, I do too. Every
you do
single
too?
week. Every single week.
Hey,
once a week.
See, you go every single week. I go once a month because the girl who does mine up in Atlanta, she only takes clients for like once a month or something like that. But she does a good job. But man, self-grooming is important, self-care is important, nothing wrong and stuff like that. We're going out and having a good time. I don't know like what your interests or your hobbies and stuff that are. But once I came to Atlanta and I started focusing more on my interests and hobbies and stuff, a lot of other things just started to fall into place. Like real true love and real companionship. Like nobody, like we put on this earth, we're going to meet the person who we're supposed to be with. And a good person is something that just happens to come into your life. When you go looking for it, sometimes you're not going to find it. You know,
because you desperate, so you're going to attract predators.
Not only predators, but not only just like a certain type of predator, but like a horrible fucking type of predator. Like like a predator is a predator, but they're like, I can go on and on about that predator stuff because of what I do, but I ain't But I mean, like I know I rambled. I'm dead serious. Like I was really distracted, so I couldn't really give a good response and a rebuttal and stuff for that to BOONIE. So she pretty much iced me on that, and that's cool because this ain't no competition or nothing like that.
Yeah, you brought it up.
But yeah, the only issues that I was having, and this is why I'm asking all these questions, is because, you know, a couple of months ago, I just started on my journey on self-improvement. That's why you see the cologne collection I got back there, try to update my clothing game, try to update my skincare, self-grooming, manicure, pedicure, all the other stuff. I'm just trying to improve myself overall instead of going to dope. But the only issue that I came across was, you know, when I see these different podcasts like Fresh and Fit, Kevin Samuels, all those other people, I got caught up in those people, and I was listening to them, and I was kind of taking in their information because it kind of made sense a little bit. But then I was like, but when I started to feel that let me know like, hey, I can't really fuck with them. Excuse my language, but what letting me know that I can't really deal with them is that I kept getting a negative vibe from them. Like it's just nothing but negativity, corruption, them just trying to push their negative experiences with women. I kind of felt like that they wasn't telling the whole story of what's going on with today's society. This is trying to tell like the negative shit. Like women ain't doing this, women need to do this, women need to do that, and men need to do this, and all this other shit. I was just like, okay, cool. Because like I said, at that time I was trying to like improve myself overall.
Right.
So I was like trying to take notes and shit like that. But when I started to like really think and try to take, you know, into consideration of the information that was coming to my mind, I was like, started doing more research, started looking up shit because they're trying to tell me, you know, the problem is that 79% of the marriages that are being filed, divorces filed by women, and then I look it up and I've searched the reason as to why that number is so damn high. And I'm like, it's kind of seeming like that the men aren't really doing what they're supposed to be doing. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let me watch more of them videos to see what they, you know, say after that. Because, you know, they kind of got like a lot of questions from different people. And they're not really telling, like I said, the full story. They're always it's always people trying to point the finger at each other as to why society is fucked up. So I'm like, I can't really, it's just seemed to me that it was just nothing but entertainment purposes. So I had to basically just, block them out. And then I had to like rethink everything because I'm like, damn, only thing I'm feeling right now is nothing but a messed up vibe. So I'm like, I feel like I'm going in the wrong direction because of the information that I just heard. So, but I just try to take heed on the basic shit. Taking care of yourself,
Yeah.
smelling good, looking good, staying fit, stacking your money, getting a high credit score, trying to focus on your college degree, trying to just overall improve yourself. That's the stuff
Yeah.
that I'd be focusing on. But as far as relationships and dealing with women and, going through our society, that's the information that I'm kind of like messed up on because I already know what I want. But
Right.
it's like a lot of people try to demonize you because of that.
And that's something that you like, the fact that you were able to see that information and see that it's negative and was like, okay, this don't feel right, something ain't right, ain't no way it's like this. The fact that you were able to pull yourself back from that's doing better than a lot of people who are a lot older than you, because they get sucked into it. And the reason why they get sucked into it is because they've been hurt. It validates the way that they felt about the way that somebody has done them. So they sit there and they suck in all that negative feedback and stuff like that, the things that people are saying, because it validates them. A lot of people don't want to change. The reason why you were able to recognize that it was negative because you're working on improving yourself. A lot of people who just look at that stuff and just take it in, they ain't want to improve themselves. They want to blame somebody for how they are. They want to be the victim.
Right. Like, they just want to use other people as their validation to do stupid
exactly.
shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, John, I'm gonna tell you this though. Like when you were talking about like Fresh and Fit and Kevin and stuff like that, I used to watch those shows. I stopped watching. I stopped watching Fresh and Fit because they full of shit. And with Kevin, and believe it or not, with Kevin, I followed him for years. And believe it or not, it had nothing to do with his relationship stuff. It had a lot of stuff to do with his cologne and his dress type stuff, because that's what he started doing. And then he started
6 years ago, right.
Right. Then he started talking about male improvement and, stuff like that for us to be better. It just kind of shifted towards the women when he went viral with that girl on World Star Hip Hop. But believe it or not,
average at best.
Yeah, the average at best. But you know what's so funny though? That same woman from World Star is on a dating reality show because she's still saying and talking about the same thing that he spoke to her about. But I stopped watching. I didn't when I stopped watching him. When did I stop watching him? I stopped watching him when I realized that it was the same thing every episode. You know what I mean? Like a lot of women calling the show, they put themselves in that shit. You know what I'm saying? They put themselves in that light to get judged.
No, because there's a lot of women who have that type of thinking too. Like to me, they keep it surface. That's surface level stuff. Like you said, the stuff that you're focused on. Don't forget your spiritual health, your mental health, your emotional health. Like connecting with your inner child. That's something that I feel like a lot of people always forget because we become adults and we think we got to be serious all the time. The things that made you happy as a kid, don't let that stuff go. Like keep feeding your inner child. You have to, make sure when it comes to how you feel and stuff, regulating your emotions and stuff like that, talk things out with certain people that you can trust. And mental stimulation. Social media ain't nothing but entertainment. Nothing on social media is real. It's not real. Those people who be sitting there telling you what to do and women this and men this, they get paid for stuff like that. That's their job.
They're to me, they're professional agitators. Like they get paid and stuff for that to play people emotions and all that type of stuff.
Exactly.
A lot of people and stuff that dude, after I changed my algorithm and stuff like that, man, I don't even watch that shit no more. I don't even give two fucks about it.
Because it's negative. That junk is negative.
Like I used to watch this watch this podcast, listen to this podcast on YouTube called Pink Book Lessons, and she would highlight the atrocities and stuff like that women commit and all that type of shit, you know, highlighting the negative behavior of women and all of that. And I was sitting there listening to it, and I'm like, why am I listening to this shit? Like what? Like I already know people as the human race. Period. Really, you know, like come on, like we got a lot of evil motherfuckers and stupid people in our race. So I was like, nah, I'm done with all of that. But like you, man, I went on my own thing because I know what you are going through. You're trying to find your definition of what manhood is for you, and I get it,
right?
Because I went through it, and that's something and stuff like that it's gonna take. It's gonna take years to, you know, mold and manifest and, you know, get a hold on it. But I know what you're going through because I went through it.
Really,
Right.
just be yourself. It ain't even got nothing. Manhood or womanhood should be stuff that we just throw out. Just be you, man. Just feed the things that you crave, and not necessarily the things that can bring you harm. Like, you know what you like. You know what it is that keeps you balanced, meaning mentally, emotionally, all of that stuff. The things that make you feel good, the things that bring, like whenever you do get agitated, what brings you back down, what calms you down, stuff like that. Feed your inner child, feed your spirit, your mind. And you have to be careful with the stuff that you allow, because our brains are designed to help us survive. So your mind can even be negative. It can tell you a lot of things that's not true, and you have to rewire that. You have to rewire your brain so you can train it to not only look for the things that you need to survive, but also the things you need to thrive, and like to the love and all of that stuff that you need. Like, it ain't just about your mind, it's about everything, your heart, your soul, your spirit. Feed all of those things, and you do that by controlling your environment, controlling the things that you take in when people are talking, control the things that you eat. It's so many things that people don't even talk about because they're only interested in putting out information that's going to keep people coming back to them videos to put money in their pockets. They care nothing about the decisions y'all make. They just want to talk and bring more eyes to them. And a lot of the times, a lot of those people, for instance, like the Charleston Whites, he get on the internet and he said a lot of ignorant stuff, but if you actually look him up and you look at the stuff that he does for the community, you would be surprised.
Right.
Yeah,
but people do that because they actors. Everybody on social media are actors.
Hell yeah, they're con artists.
They acting. They don't even be themselves.
But
they
yeah,
playing
John,
a character.
But yeah, John, I understand what you're going through, man, as far as like your journey and stuff with them on manhood, your style, your swag, all of that. Man, I get it, man. And ain't nothing wrong with that, dude. Nothing wrong with that.
Basically, he finding himself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like the separation thing too is annoying because we the same when it all comes down to it. Like, yeah, men go through certain things that I won't go through, and I go through things that y'all won't go through. But when we take away that man, woman, manhood, womanhood, the gender roles, all of this stuff, we realize that we have a lot more in common than not.
Yeah.
Because I grew up, my mama raised me the same way she raised my brothers, and we still turned out to be good people. Like, she ain't did nothing different for them that she did me. She didn't, it wasn't you a girl, so you got to do this, you got to do that. No, it was not that. The same thing she told me to do, she told them to do. The same expectations she had of me, she had of them.
Right.
But people do try to make it seem like we so different because it perpetuates all of the stuff that keeps us from coming together.
Right. It just causes a little bit of division. And that's why I kept seeing, and that's why I had to like fall back, because I'm like, you know, with my whole self-improvement journey, my whole thing was I'm not trying to be led in the wrong direction by people that just trying to entertain people on the internet. Like, that's my biggest thing. Is like, if I'm going to take in information, I need to get the information on some like real shit, not just it's like people on the internet just got nothing but a hidden agenda at the end of the day. Bad
Exactly.
intentions at the end of the day. And that's why I end up finding out because, like I said, the energy, the vibe, the negativity. Like, I have yet to find anybody that's ever talked about, like, in the manosphere and stuff like that, that actually, when it came down to what it was talking about. I'm all about, if I want to talk to people about certain things, I know that I need to be the example of what I'm talking about. If I want to push a narrative, I want other people, I need to be that example. If I want to talk about marriage, like I said, if I want to talk about being married, I need to be married. And I need to be married for not just 5 years, 3 years, 5 years. No, I need to be married for no longer than 10 years or more.
A lot
Because,
of the
like I said,
times, bro, even dumb people don't know what the heck they talking about.
Man, a lot
Everybody
of them.
everybody.
Hey, they
damn,
be, hey, you got motherfuckers married for 20 years and got all kind of secrets and lies and other outside.
Right.
They ain't
And
necessarily
that's
the person they
because
buy
you
into.
define for yourself what you want out of life. There's no one size fit all thing. What works for one person isn't going to work for everybody, and that's what I try to tell people all the time. These like ideas, these fantasies and stuff that we have in our head, how things are supposed to be, that's the problem.
right,
Like when you start dating somebody and you get with that particular person, you and that person sit down and figure out what type of relationship that y'all want to have. It
Y'all
don't matter
come,
what nobody else think, because you got to be with them at the end of the day. So you shouldn't be asking, your sister, your mama. Like, it's okay to get advice from them from time to time, but don't ask them what you should be doing for her. Ask her. Talk to her
right,
about it.
y'all come to your own contract.
Right.
Y'all come to your own agreement. Like, truth be told, the marriage shit for me, I ain't really feeling it because I don't want the government like that in my business because I'm a little paranoid and stuff like that now.
right.
But when I meet a woman who I can see myself spending the rest of my life with, we're gonna do our own thing. Like, we can come to our own
Bro, them
agreement.
folks in your business from the time you was born.
Uh,
You ain't getting
no,
about your
no,
business.
no. I ain't talking. No, I'm talking about like that whole. That's a whole nother topic, no episode. But that like marriage and divorce and all that, man. That shit a big game, big money scheme thing. I just ain't feeling that aspect
Yeah.
of it. With the contracts and
Yeah.
all of that. I ain't feeling that aspect of it. That's why I'm saying like I'll get with somebody who's on the same head space as I am, and we come to our own contract and we come to our own agreement what it is we want to do. But as far as like the paperwork aspect of it, no, I don't want no parts of it.
Well, I feel like the biggest issue is that like
Dang.
people don't even talk. They just get in relationship and then have the expectations of how it's supposed to go. Like, how you expect for a man to be this if you don't tell him that that's what you need or that's what you want, that's what you're looking for, but you expect them to know that. How you expect for a woman to be a certain type of way if you ain't telling her that's what you want? Like, when you get into situations with people, have those hard conversations, and what's going to let you know how it is how they respond. If they can't answer your questions directly, if they going all around, they can't answer your questions, if they try to change the subject, if they don't want to talk about it, you don't need to be with those people, because they ain't nothing but all they gonna do is cause chaos.
Judge Lynn Toler from Divorce Court. I used to watch a lot of her stuff when I was home, when I was sick. She said something that's very interesting about couples and marriages and relationships. She said there's nothing wrong with dating to marry. There's nothing wrong with being in a relationship. But she was like, when you get into a relationship, before you procreate or have children with anybody, you gotta still be very mindful of watching who this person is and stuff, because people switch up. Like, people will sell you a lie. We fall for the words a lot of times, but we don't fall for the actions, or the actions matching up to what they're saying. Like, people actually do that. And
Right.
and one of the things that I've learned over years of relationships and the whole in player shit, whatever you want to call it, I realized stuff like that with me. And I even told BOONIE this. My words never matched up with my actions. I even texted this shit one morning. And she was like, I'm proud of you growing up. And I was like, yeah, I am growing up. Because, like, I'm in a different headspace and stuff like that as far as me and what I want to do for myself. And like, I'm just a happier person now. Like a couple of months ago, if I would have hit any of my friends up Real shit. They be like, man, I ain't feel like this shit today, man. What you want, man? Because I was always on some negative type shit because of social media and personal stuff and all of that. Man, changed my algorithm, got away from that type of stuff. And I started surrounding myself with people who are very positive, who want to do positive things. I met a group of guys, black guys. You know what we do? We go to plants and coffee just to sit down, have a cup of coffee and check with each other, see how we doing and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And I probably won't go back. Now I met them and stuff, and I probably won't go back with them because there was some vibes there that I just wasn't feeling. So I probably won't go back there with them again. But nevertheless, that's what I'm on. You know, like I don't want to be around. Hey, bro, you want to go to the club, get drunk? She like, man, fuck all that. I'm done. I did all of that. I'm done. I'm chilling. I'm old. I'm tired.
Yeah, you gotta be careful of the people you surround yourself with, because sometimes people don't even care. Like they'll give you advice about something and forgot that they told you that junk.
And then they turn around and do the same. And man, you remember when you were talking about? You remember you were talking about the guys that said they wouldn't clean up and do all of that and all that type of shit, right?
Right.
Man, don't let them motherfuckers lie to you because they at the house cleaning and cooking and doing all that shit for their fucking woman, bro. Don't let them niggas lie to you. That's what they don't want to do.
Right.
They do it. Like don't let them motherfuckers lie to you.
They be acting like kids.
Yeah, don't let them dudes they hype like they lying. A lot of them guys stuff they're lying. Like ain't nothing wrong with wooing your woman and being a gentleman and stuff like that to your woman and shit like that. Well, you gotta be hard for.
Right.
Like you wake up in the morning, hey bitch, what we doing today? Like something wrong with you.
Yeah, that's why I had to cut some of a lot of people on social media off, because I'm like, as soon as they said that type of shit, I had to like, nah, because I can't imagine myself not literally taking care of my woman. I can't imagine myself not doing that. I can't imagine myself not picking her up. Like, if she get tired from when she come home to work, she's still taking care of the kids. She cooking. I can't imagine myself not coming home telling her like, "Hey, take a break from cooking the food. I'll cook the rest of the food." Picking her up, taking her to that bathroom, running her some bath water, putting her in the bath water, giving her some wine. I can't imagine myself not doing that.
Hold on. I'm about to step the game up, player. You gotta get one of those those tub bombs. You put in the tub bomb in the tub, right? And then turn the water green shit. But you gotta make sure it's at the right temperature and stuff like that, right? Then you get your little candle, burn a little candle. Man, boy, look at you, man. You ain't seen no for the world, boy. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Depending on the woman, because not all of us
I
can
don't
get in the tub
some
with
bitches don't deserve that shit.
No, I'm saying not all of us can do that, because it's a lot of that stuff that you put into the water don't be good for you.
No. Mine, I do that vegan. I use the vegan bombs that's 100% holistic. I don't do the bath and body work stuff because that stuff is bad on my skin and stuff like that as well. So I'm very like holistic and natural and vegan. Man, I had a kelp salad the other day. I ain't even know what the fuck kelp was and shit like that. I ate that shit. I was like, man, this some healthy eating shit. It fucked my stomach up, but I was eating healthy. Had my ginger tea with my with just a little bit of hibiscus in it. Man, shit. I'm out here, man, nigga, I'm about to be brother hotel around this bitch.
But it's just listen to your person. You need, like, whenever you date, just be interested in what that person like and listen, take it in and remember that stuff. And a woman will tell you the things that you can do to make her life easy, to make her happy and stuff like that. And only she can tell you that. Nobody else can tell you that. The same way with men, only they can tell you how to make them happy. Like, just you good. You just stop. You got a good head on your shoulder. Stop listening to outside people. And I will say this: if a person comes into a situation asking you for a bunch of stuff, they just trying to get stuff out of you.
They trying to pimp.
9 times out of 10, a woman who really like you, it gonna be hard for her to ask you for something.
Right.
And she could be struggling.
It's gonna be hard. And if she do ask, you her last resort.
Yeah. But I'm a little different though, because I do trick with $40, and that's my thing. $40. Whatever you can get out of $40, shit, baby, you can make it work. I came up with stuff with that under my favorite comedian, Corey Holcomb and stuff. That's why I used to watch the stuff with that all the time when I was sick and stuff. And he's just fucking funny as a motherfucker. But but like, dude, like, man, you like 22 years old, you sharp. You very sharp. You very sharp. You very sharp. I was chasing pussy at 22. You sharp. You real sharp.
Good.
And I had a head on my shoulders like you at 22, shit, I probably would have been further ahead in my life. But nope, I love them hoes too much.
No, I can't. I never really liked, this just me personally, I never really liked those kind of women men because I can't, this is me personally, I just can't see myself having sex with somebody to have sex with. That's just like me.
Yeah, I'm saying
That's good to be.
That's what I'm saying. You a good dude. I wasn't like that at 22.
There are those of us out there who cannot just have sex with anybody.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I wasn't one of them, but y'all 100% right. All the people. So all the viewers, you tell the truth. You tell the truth. I wasn't one of them, but hey, you live and you learn.
Because like, even though you young, don't let people pressure you to go out there and have fun, have sex with this girl, go drink this, do that. No, if that's not who you are, you don't have to do that.
Even though BOONIE and I are in our 30s and shit like that, we still look relatively young for the simple fact that we didn't let life get to us and we didn't fall into the temptations of the world and all that type of bullshit. For the most part, stuff like that, we pretty much took care of ourselves. And there's nothing wrong with what you're doing. I applaud you. I'm proud of you. I don't even know you like that, and I'm proud of you. I wish a lot more younger guys and stuff like that would have your mindset. But unfortunately, hormones, young, dumb, full of cum. I was a victim of it. It is what it is.
And just being influenced by a lot of outside things. And I think that's something that a lot of people deal with, like peer pressure and being influenced. That was something that never got to me. I never was the peer pressure. You never going to try to get me to feel stupid because I won't do something stupid that you think is cool.
Hey, BOONIE said a mouthful with that, not to get long-winded. I was going to work. I stopped at this little hole in the wall spot to grab some food. Some of my boys was out there smoking and drinking, and I had my uniform on when I was working in the group homes and stuff. But anyway, they said, Brent, you must be getting ready to go to work. I said, yeah. They said, man, go and hit the bottle before you go to work. I said, nah, man, I'm good. I don't want the alcohol in my breath when I'm walking into the facility. They said, man, well, go ahead and at least hit the blunt so you can get your head together before you walk. I said, nah, man, I'm good. One guy who knows me very well said, hey, look, y'all wasting y'all time. Y'all can't get him to do nothing he don't want to do. And without missing a beat, another dude who didn't really know me like that said, damn, brother, I wish I had your mindset. I'm like, motherfucker, you can't say no.
Yeah, but for real, like peer pressure is like the worst thing that has happened to a lot of people, and a lot of people still cannot dig themselves out of that junk. I still see people who have been doing that junk since we were young, still being influenced by peer pressure to do certain things. That's why they can't come home without being drunk and enjoy themselves. They got to drink to be around their people that they grew up with.
Right.
Not me. I don't like, what's so crazy? We like, people will consume alcohol to feel good, but only to feel like shit later on. That's the one thing that always made me question.
They consume alcohol because that junk is a battery in their back. It make them do and say stuff that they wouldn't do when they sober.
Yeah, liquid courage. Liquid courage, like motherfucker. But yeah, man, hey, your cologne game on point. Check out that Beverly Hills Perfumery, like I was telling you. Me and BOONIE always engage in back and forth conversations and stuff. The one thing about her, when she start talking stuff now, I just kind of like let her talk or whatever, because I don't want to be rude and interrupt. And I don't do she and I both, well, I used to do the arguing and stuff. I don't do that shit. It's pointless for what? Because at the end of the day, she told, I ain't trying to kiss her ass or nothing like that, but sometimes she right. Not all the time, but sometimes she right. Sometimes she right. And yeah, man, like just be around more affluent and positive guys and stuff like that, man, who have the same like-mindedness and stuff like that as you. Like you going on a journey
Right.
and stuff for self, and I respect that. And I understand that, and I'm proud of you. I ain't never met you, brother. When you was around, I give you a dap and a hug right now and tell you, man, stay strong. Like, do you? Nothing
Appreciate it.
wrong with that. And hell, like we on the podcast, you need to shoot my number, ask me a question. Hey, you ever start dating and stuff? I've been around enough women to know.
Don't take
I got
advice from that nigga if you start dating. Do you can listen, don't take advice from nobody. You can make your decisions. The best thing for you to do is to have the confidence to believe that
Yourself,
you
yeah.
can make the best decisions for yourself. Because when you start listening to people, and not saying that everybody's opinion is going to be wrong or negative, but it's not always specific to you.
right.
You know what's specific to you. You can make those decisions for yourself. Like that's
Right.
why when people come to me talking, I don't even give you advice. I'm gonna just keep asking questions until you figure it out yourself.
I get that. Because like I said, well, the big thing about me is that I always have no problem with taking accountability for nothing. Like if I did something wrong, if I need to improve on something, I have no problem with doing it. It's just with like I said, I'm coming closer and closer to what I feel like I want in life, but it's just like a steady pace at this point. I'm not trying to, go too fast with certain things. I'm just trying to steady figure it out. But as far as like a relationship, I know as of right now, I'm not ready for that yet, like at all. Because I know that there's a lot of things in my mind that I need to fix and I need to get myself together on. Because one of the main issues that I have within me is I'm highly critical of myself. When it comes down to mistakes, fucking up, failing, I take that shit to heart. I beat myself up about it because I know a lot of people look up. I know a lot of people have like a good perception of me and basically tell me, like I said, like I have a good head on my shoulders and basically makes me feel like, okay, I can't fuck up. I can't, fail in this lifestyle because if I fail, then it's like I'm gonna let everybody down that, felt like I had, a good mind. And I'm like, I can't live the rest of my life just doing dumb shit
Right.
like that because a lot of people know that I'm not the kind of person to be doing dumb shit. Like that's just not who I am.
But at the same
I'm
time, it's
constant.
okay if you do.
Yeah, like
Right.
that.
Because I, as a person who have been looked at the same, like it's hard being there. And I had to come to, right around your age, I had to come to that conclusion. Like the way that people see you is none of your business. It ain't got nothing to do with
Right.
you. If they want to look at you as this person that's not supposed to fail, that's their business. But you're a human at the end of the day, so you're not always gonna make the right decision, and that's okay. You don't got to be perfect.
Right.
When
Just do stuff for you.
John, when you stop trying to live for others and live for yourself, that's when you would notice a big damn change and stuff within your life. Like, cause that shit is
Right.
stressful. That shit is stressful. And sometimes
Right.
stuff like that, we try to live up to the expectations, like how you said that other people have for us. Man, fuck them people
Yeah.
and their damn expectations. Live for yourself.
Exactly,
Got it.
because it's hard. Like you find yourself not even being you because you being what you think that they believe that you are. It's okay for you to make mistakes. Sometimes you will make the wrong decisions, but that's cool. As long as you have the head to look at it and be like, you know what, I shouldn't have did that. I should have did this. As long as you can correct yourself, you good.
I'm the
Got
I'm
you.
the, I'm the king of self correction because when I was being by myself, getting inside of my head, man, like everything that ever happened to me, as far as like um relationships, women, all that shit was my fault. It wasn't theirs, it was mine because I allowed it.
Right.
And that was one of the biggest caveats of my own personal growth. And I take full responsibility for my actions. It had nothing to do with them. It was all on me. And when you self-reflect and you start saying, okay, I should have did this, I should have done that, you go, you know what, fuck that. It is what it is because it's called learning. You gotta like when you going through life, you're gonna make mistakes and you gotta live. Like people always love to say someone did something that was evil. But yeah, there are evil people and we may have done evil deeds. So, but if you look at the word evil spelled backwards, it's live. You gotta live. So, you know, I'm proud of you. I never met you. This is my first time meeting you and stuff in person. Hey, I'm proud to continue to do what you do. Continue to do what you do.
Compared to a lot of other people, you good.
Hell yeah.
Like you just have to not doubt yourself. You good. I feel like you can make your own decisions and you take accountability for a lot of stuff and stuff like that too. And just remember you're not perfect because you can get caught up in that. That was one of the things that I had to come out of because everybody saw me that way. And even though my last relationship was terrible, it showed me that I wasn't perfect, that I was capable of being a bad person. And just
that's why
because
I gotta
was
ask you.
what's
my
up?
bad. I didn't
No,
mean
you
to cut
good.
you
You
off,
good.
but that is basically one of my biggest issues. I've been dealing with that ever since I was a child. So this is one question I gotta ask. How do you fix yourself being a perfectionist?
I'm gonna be honest. You always gonna be a perfectionist. You honestly, if I'm being honest, if it wasn't for your sister, I would still be like that. Honestly, because it's hard. Like you kind of just have to just live like Brent said earlier. Like you don't always have to analyze everything that you do. You don't always have to go down this checklist of when you basically grading yourself every time you do something. Well, did I do this? Did I do that? You don't always have to do that. Just especially in the spaces where you're like where you work, your career and your relationships and stuff like that. Most of the time people gonna let you know when you've done something that made them feel some type of way. So that's one way I guess you could say to kind of keep track of yourself, because like you said, being self-critical, like it's a difference between analyzing yourself and assessing yourself and being critical of yourself. Always like, I can't mess up. Everything that you go to do, it gotta be perfect, it gotta be just right, because it prevents you from being able to put stuff out there, like, and to live honestly. Like I kind of had to get in the mindset of like, you kind of have to figure out where it comes from. Like, where does your perfectionism come from? Why do you have to be perfect? And when you figure that out and you deal with why that is, for me, it was my family. Like I was always the person that everybody was compared to. I was always, and not even really just my family, everywhere I went, I was always the person that everybody was being compared to. And honestly, it was traumatic for me because the adults would say certain things to me in front of my peers and it would make them feel some type of way about me, even though I didn't do nothing. Now I gotta deal with the negative feelings of these people and they feel this way about me because something, that I don't even got control over. So it made me feel some type of way. So for a lot of my life, I guess you could say, dimmed myself because to not offend people, because I didn't want my friends or whatever to be mad at me for being me, because I wasn't even really trying to do nothing to get attention or whatever.
Hey John, I'm not trying to cut BOONIE off, but I'm gonna be real. Like she's trying to like tone it down. But when you're dealing with someone and stuff that has a high intellect and stuff that like her, it's hard for her to keep that shit contained, and it shines in a room full of darkness. That's just how she is. She always was like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So she would almost self-sabotage herself and stuff like that in a room to dumb herself down so it can appease everybody else. That's why I like your sister, because your sister said that about her. But I never
necessarily self-sabotage. I've never been a self-sabotage.
Not self-sabotage,
but I wouldn't even walk in the room. I'll be like, you know what? I'm not even gonna go in there. I'm gonna let them have it.
Right, but but like she got somebody like Van to, you know, girl, what are you doing? Like, stop the shit. You know what I mean?
Because I ain't never had a friend that never felt threatened. Like it was always, you think you better. Why you always, why can't you do this? Why can't you do that? What's wrong?
Because
Why
you
you
were
won't do
better
this?
than,
Why
because
you
I
won't
am
do that?
better than you,
You
because
think
I'm
you
better
better
than
than
fuck you.
everybody or whatever. It would always be like that. So I kind of just stopped wanting to be around people. Cause it's like, dang, I ain't even doing nothing. Like I would just be being me. Like it never made me change who I was. I just stopped being in the room, basically. Like I'm okay. I ain't, if we got y'all gathering, I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna just be by myself over here, type of thing. So
Right.
I feel like in order to get out of something like that, you kind of have to just not care about, you know, what people gonna think about the things that you do, the things that you accomplish, the things that you do with your life, the decisions that you make. Just do it for you. Do what you want to do, make decisions for you, and don't worry about it. And don't judge yourself by other people's standards.
Right.
That I think is the most important thing. It's about what you like. If you like it, if you feel good about it, then do that. Instead of worrying about, well, if I do this, then this person is going to think like this. If that person is going to forget them people. It's about what you want to do. Because at the end of the day, you can literally be doing nothing. When you're a person that's just like that, you can literally be doing nothing. And somebody always going to be mad. Somebody never going to be satisfied with what you got going on. So you have to just not care about people.
Right.
But
Yeah.
my whole thing is working on it within myself. Like me, okay, not being so critical of everything that I do. So I'm a creative. So whenever I work on different projects and stuff, rather than analyzing it in so many different ways, I create what I create and I put it out, and the people that it's supposed to reach, it reaches them. And that's just how it's gonna be.
I got you.
As someone who has no idea what that, I don't know what the hell y'all were talking about. As far, I ain't never looked at myself like that. I just I just I cared about what people thought about me on the self-image when it came to relationship shits, because I felt like I was pressured and stuff like that to stay in certain relationships to create that fabric of what Black excellence was supposed to look like, because that's what was
Right.
spewed upon me growing up and stuff like that. But as I got older and stuff, now that I'm older and stuff, I ain't care. Like, y'all fucking miserable. Why the fuck would I want to listen to what you have to offer me? You bitching and you whining all the time about this and that. I don't want that. You know what I mean? I don't
Right.
want that from, I don't want to deal with that headache, that pain. Like, I can't be with somebody who's not happy. I
Right.
can't be with someone who's always looking for perfection and all that. Like, we're imperfect human beings. There's no such thing as perfection. You may think that you're perfect, you may think that you have it all together, but you really don't. It's like
Right.
people get caught up get caught up on being mature so much that I realize a lot of them are immature. And
Mhm.
you know, just
Yeah,
keep
and
doing.
for me, when I was younger, my way to deal with that was just to not be around people. I just was a loner, basically. And also because I just didn't feel like I fit in to a lot of spaces. So I spent a lot of time alone. So it wasn't like I was living for people or I was doing what people wanted me to do. I was never that type of person. You ain't gonna tell me what to do now. You can say what you want to say, but it ain't gonna make me change me. I'm gonna just fall back from you. That's basically how I dealt with it. But now I don't care. Like I'm gonna go in the rooms and I'm gonna just be who I am.
And if you insecure,
Right.
that says more about you than it does me.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially I'm just standing here existing. Like I ain't even turned up yet. Wait till I turn up. You mad for me? I ain't doing that.
Hey, I already said, man, all I want me and you to do is like when we blow shit, like I just want to get the diamond studded anime chains or whatever and just stunt. Like we probably won't do that though, but I don't know if I want a Bears one or a Boondocks one. I haven't seen one with the
A
Boondocks.
what one?
Boondocks, like a Riley.
What the first thing you said?
Beerus, like Lord Beerus from Dragon Ball. Like I didn't fit into a lot of things and stuff like that with a lot of women. Like one of the biggest things that made me stop talking to one woman here, this is somebody else that I was distracted by tonight. But what made me stop talking to one woman here was she told me that anime is childish and all of that. I'm like, oh girl, no, you got to go, baby, block list. Like you will not sit here and talk about anime and disrespect me like that. No, you got to go. You got on a cartoon character do-rag, cartoon character. Baby, this is Dragon Ball Z. How dare you?
Right.
Dragon Ball Z is a cartoon though.
Don't. We almost done.
Because I don't like it, but
Well, we're almost done. We almost done. How you not gonna no. See, you doing the most. You was doing good. See,
it ain't that deep. But
But
yeah,
yeah,
you
that's
just
my camera acting
oh
up.
my bad.
you can go ahead.
Oh my bad. You can still hear me? I was about to ask him about the Beverly Hills perfumery that he was talking about earlier.
Oh yeah, we can talk about that. We can talk about that after this. I mean, Boonie's still recording, so I mean, I don't think we have nothing else to talk about.
Yeah, unless you have any more questions, we can end the episode.
No, it's just that like I said, I just had those kind of questions because I was trying to like get my head together on it, kind of like affirm some things that I was already thinking about. But yeah, I just realized like I just gotta really focus on me at the end of the day. Focus on what I want, focus on what I'm trying to get, not let other people's opinions of what they're trying to push down on me affect what I'm trying to do. Cause it was a point in time where I actually let that happen. And I kind of measured myself to this kind of expectation that I had. Still working on my perfectionist mindset because like I said, I always been like that ever since I was a kid. So it's kind of like trying to get out of that. At the same time, you know, I just never been the kind of person to like to um be in a position to where it's like my biggest fear. It's always been my biggest fear, and I'm trying to come out of that. It's like people only see me as like this horrible person. And I'm trying to move out of that to where I'm like, I don't give a fuck about what y'all think. Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna do me regardless. But
Why
like I
would they
said,
think?
that's when
So basically, you want to be a good person to everybody.
pretty much it
You
used to
want to
be
be
where I
seen
was
as a
at.
good person.
Right.
You're gonna
That
be a
used to be
bad
my
person. You're gonna be a bad person to somebody. No matter how
right.
good you are, somebody gonna think that you're a bad person. You're a horrible person. You can't really control how people perceive you. All you can control is how you are. If you really
Right.
are being a good person. Now, if you being a good person and somebody see you as a bad person, ain't nothing you can do about that.
Fuck them.
Right.
Like in my line of work, like real talk. Let me tell you how cutthroat this is. I speak to everybody every day. I'm professional and stuff like that. I made one mistake of taking my vest off and stuff like that at my place of employment after we did a yard recall, and that was a problem for somebody. You get what I'm saying? And I speak to this person with professionalism every day, and it was a problem for them. And they started making it seem as if like I was such a horrible worker and all of that. I'm like, wow, okay, I see where this is going. But I handled it the best way I possibly could as far as like listening, you know, doing X, Y, Z. And I just realized then when that person is around, be on my P's and Q's. But most importantly and stuff, you got to just miss people being negative towards you because that's the only way they can get some type of validation for themselves.
Right.
You know,
Don't let it get to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Fuck. What's the next 2 times?
But yeah, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, I think you're gonna be good. You good.
Man, you
You
probably
got a good head on your shoulder.
And you self-aware.
Right.
Like you very self-aware, dog. When I was 22, I ain't even self-aware. Shit. I wasn't self-aware. Shit. I was in the club drinking Hennessy and all types of all that shit. 22. Especially when I was in college, man. Look. And the reason why I was like that is I was sick for a long time. So when I finally went back to school, man, I was wilding out. But you know, it is what it is.
I got you. But yeah, I just appreciate y'all, you know, helping me out a little bit. I appreciate this episode because, like I said, I had so many questions in my head, and y'all answered all those questions, perfectly. So now I really know where I need to go from here.
Yeah, no problem. But also don't listen to us neither.
Show, hell, yo, don't listen.
Hey.
Hey, don't listen to me because next episode you have a damn bottle of Hennessy. I should listen to Kenny, man. Fuck, man. Drink got me out drink and shit. Hey, don't listen to me.
I got you. I got you.
Man,
You get what I'm trying to say,
Hey,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Fuck around, turn
But
into an
y'all,
alcoholic on accident.
I got you. But y'all help me, get my mind in a position to where I can start thinking for myself.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. And
yeah,
my point of saying that was to prove to take it all the way there. Even though we did help you, our opinion still don't matter. It's about really what you gonna take from it and what you want to do.
Because at the end of the day, man,
Okay.
you're responsible for yourself.
Right.
Like we can, like, you know what I mean? Like you're responsible for making your own decisions. You're responsible for your own, like you're just responsible for self. And I think you very self-aware. Like I'm blown
Yeah.
away. Like it's very self-aware.
I'm
Hell,
not surprised.
nah, look who his sister is.
Right.
Damn sorcerer's ass.
But yeah, other than that, I ain't got no more other questions. I'm good for you.
All right, 10-4.
Okay, cool. Next time we have a freestyle, I'm gonna have a game ready for us to make things a little more interesting, and of course to do some research. No,
Oh, got you.
not true for there, but it'll be a question game. But this was a pretty good episode. It was a pretty good freestyle. It was just the three of us, but I feel like we held it down. But thank y'all for coming today and talking about your experiences and sharing your mind with people on a public platform. And to everybody who watched, thank y'all for watching, and we'll be back with another episode.